What's good, y'all? Y'all already know who it is, man. It's your boy Geoskis, man. I got something to inform y'all on, man. So, we back with another one. California's going through some stuff, man. They talking about tsunamis and earthquakes and stuff like that, man. The categories that it is, man. They wanting people to evacuate and all kind of stuff that's going on over there in California, man. That's the one thing that I can say I dislike about California. And you can say Florida too, man. Like, you have all these tornadoes and hurricanes in Florida, sinkholes and stuff like that, man. The holes cracking in the ground, man. It's like you could be driving your whip, man, and you drive into a hole in the ground, man. You done met your demise, man. Or tornadoes and hurricanes like what they just had, you know what I mean? We just had this stuff hit us, man. And a lot of people done, passed away from it, lost properties, you know, vehicles, a lot of personal things, so this right here is an eye awakening for California, man. People that stay in California, man. If y'all can get somewhere safe, get somewhere where y'all don't have to worry about that type of stuff, man. Take all your important things away from wherever you're at, man. Because if this stuff gets worse, man, it's gonna take a lot of damage, a lot of, and I don't want to even say it, but man, it could potentially, take lives and stuff, man. You know, properties, vehicles, important stuff, man, businesses. Man, this is crazy. So, for me, it'll be hard for me to have my base in California or Florida. If I did Florida, it'd have to be the top of Florida or something like that, man. But definitely just a vacation spot for me only. Cali, Florida, just vacation spots. It wouldn't be my primary place to live, or what I would have my property as my primary place to live. That would be like the second and third properties, that you would maneuver to. For me personally, as much as I would love to.
Moment here, we're making sure that nothing is going to come down in the studio here.
And it is going for quite a bit, everybody. It continues
this is a very strong
to rattle
earthquake.
pretty strong here.
8:21 here on the air. We're experiencing very strong shaking.
Wow.
I think we need to get under the desk.
All right, we're going to go to break. We'll be right back after this. Wow.
Well, first of all, it does happen that aftershocks are larger than the main shock. It happens about, 5% of the time. And when that happens, we do a kind of a little 5-card Monte with you, and we call the first earthquake a foreshock and the second earthquake a main shock. But we don't actually know anything. We just know that earthquakes beget earthquakes. So there is a possibility that something larger can occur. And this region is really the hatchery of large earthquakes in California. It's the most active seismic area in the entire state, just offshore Mendocino. And that's because the San Andreas hangs a left right at Cape Mendocino. There should be a blinking left turn signal there. And when it does so, there's kind of a crunch that goes on in the crust that produces lots of earthquakes. So first of all, larger earthquakes or additional earthquakes are possible here because we have a history of that. Second, it's a long way from the Bay Area, and only really large earthquakes produce tsunamis in any reliable sense. So I think the way we should think about this is a good kind of trial run for what would happen if we got, let's say, a magnitude 8 earthquake up there. Then the whole Northern California coast would really be in play, including the Bay Area, although because of the Golden Gate, the waves that would come through would be pointed more or less toward Emeryville. So it wouldn't be bay-wide. We would expect more action down there than anywhere else.
Are in danger. This is the emergency alert that went out. You are in danger. Get away from coastal waters. Move to high ground or inland now. Keep away from the coast until local officials say it is safe to return. So if you are near the water's edge, or you know somebody traveling near the water's edge, get them on the cell phone and heed that warning. If you are close by and you see those first responders near the water's edge, do what they say. Clear the routes and get away right now. That is the warning that just came, the emergency alert to our friends down at Pacifica.
And if you look at that map there, Reed, you see the tsunami warning stretching all the way by Medford, Oregon, all the way down to the San Francisco Bay. And even I'm hearing down by Santa Cruz, Jess. Is it moving as far south as that?
We're continuing to keep a close eye on when we're going to see those impacts of that wave. The one thing that I do say, though, is when the National Weather Service issues a tsunami warning, just like Reed mentioned, this is the time now to take action. This is a dangerous situation. A tsunami that can cause widespread flooding is expected, or it is occurring, and that's exactly what we're starting to see now just along that coastline. We're really fixated on, of course, Humboldt County and what the damage is going to be for them. But as we continue to take a look at the next 30 to 40 minutes, we'll continue to watch those waves really get strong into our local communities. Pacifica stretched down now into Santa Cruz, too. So dangerous coastal flooding and powerful currents are possible right now, and they're going to continue throughout the next several hours. And we're continuing to keep a close eye on what the National Weather Service has to say. They're continuing to send us updates right now into Napa County, where widespread that tsunami warning is still in effect right now. See what they have to say.
Okay, I'm going to get back to this phone interview with Justin Shore with the San Francisco Fire Department, I believe. Justin, do we have you on the line?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me there?
Yes, I can. I just want to confirm you're with the San Francisco Fire Department?
That is correct, yes.
What are you telling residents here in San Francisco about this tsunami warning?
So we all received that crazy alert on our phones, right, that we need to start moving to higher ground. The National Weather Service has 3 different levels of tsunami alert, from a tsunami watch to just be aware of what's going on, a tsunami advisory to stay out of the water, and this is a tsunami warning from the National Weather Service. We need to take immediate action. You need to get your go bags together if you live on the coast or you're along the coastline. You need to move 1 mile inland or 100 feet above land. Even though they're predicting that we could get impact around 12:10 is what they're saying, we need to be ready for something to happen ahead of time. This is not a time to sit and wait. There is nothing to go down and see at the waterfront. We have our partners with the Park Service and law enforcement trying to clear our beaches so that everyone can be safe.
And Captain Shore, you are obviously watching those water's edge communities and those areas. We're also starting to see video come in of people's pools shaking a little bit from the impact of that. But what is being done for people who are not mobile, who live down in those water's edge communities? I would imagine there's got to be an effort to evacuate them as well and get them to higher ground. And then now we're looking at a picture from a helicopter. It looks like children out of a school.
I don't have any information about school children being moved. What I can tell you is that if you are able to evacuate and you have a neighbor or a family member or someone in your community that needs additional help or time, or maybe doesn't have a mobile device that received this alert, this is the time to be a good neighbor and reach out to help them in any way that you can.
Okay.
The 7.0 earthquake on December 5th occurred in a seismically complex area known as the Mendocino Triple Junction. It's where 3 tectonic plates meet and the Northwest's Cascadia subduction zone and California's San Andreas fault system meet. The quake itself occurred on the Mendocino fault zone. Not only is the Cascadia subduction zone anticipating a 9.0 earthquake, the San Andreas fault line is also anticipating a magnitude 9.0 or greater. The Cascade Volcanic Arc connects all the Pacific Northwest volcanoes from Washington state to Northern California. Are these the birth pains of something huge on the horizon? Follow and like to get quick earthquake updates in the United States.
We're following this breaking news story out of California. Just to reiterate what we know at this point, a 6.6 magnitude earthquake rattling northern parts of the state, prompting tsunami warnings. The U.S. Geological Survey saying that the quake was centered off the coast in Northern California, but was felt as far away as the San Francisco Bay Area. A second 5.8 magnitude quake struck just north of San Francisco. The National Weather Service issuing that tsunami warning. You can see some of the cars there filling the local freeway and a lot of emergency responders, as well as the news choppers are overhead. Again, a tsunami warning has been issued for parts of Northern California.
Tonight, a disaster warning sending shockwaves along the Pacific coast. A 7.0 earthquake striking Northern California, knocking bottles to the floor and doors off their hinges. Here, littering supermarket aisles, making waves in swimming pools.
This is a big one, guys.
And bringing fears of a tsunami.
It wasn't over, in a nanosecond. It kept going and it was building, and you hear things falling.
NOAA issuing a tsunami warning for hundreds of miles of coastline stretching from California's Bay Area to southern Oregon. The potential of devastating flooding forcing evacuation orders in California cities like Berkeley and Half Moon Bay. Residents ordered to move inland immediately.
You take cautious steps to protect your safety. So that's why I'm up here at a high point.
The tsunami warnings lifted a few hours after the quake.
Historically, this point just offshore of Northern California has had more magnitude 7s than anywhere else in the state because we have 3 different tectonic plates that come together there.
And we do begin with breaking news because we have a 7.0 magnitude earthquake that has just hit Northern California. So we have meteorologist David Bigger here now to explain a little bit more about what's happening.
Yeah, Kathy, let me show you where this happened. This actually happened off the coastline of Northern California. For a little bit of reference here, you have Redding right here, San Francisco down to the south. And so this was off the coastline. This is a 7.0 earthquake. Now, this has actually triggered a tsunami warning for parts of the California coastline, mainly extending from San Francisco up to the Oregon border. A 7.0 is exceptionally rare, considering that across the entire world, we typically average only about 18 of these a year. So for California, relatively rare. But this is the 7.0 off the coastline. We're continuing to monitor this, and obviously the Tsunami Warning Center is evaluating whether or not additional areas need to be added to the watch or advisories. But we'll have the latest, Kathy, for you as we get it. I'll send it back to you.
Tonight, a disaster warning sending shockwaves along the Pacific coast. A 7.0 earthquake striking Northern California, knocking bottles to the floor and doors off their hinges. Here, littering supermarket aisles, making waves in swimming pools.
This is a big one, guys.
And bringing fears of a tsunami.
It wasn't over, in a nanosecond. It kept going and it was building, and you hear things falling.
NOAA issuing a tsunami warning for hundreds of miles of coastline stretching from California's Bay Area to southern Oregon. The potential of devastating flooding forcing evacuation orders in California cities like Berkeley and Half Moon Bay. Residents ordered to move inland immediately.
You take cautious steps to protect your safety. So that's why I'm up here at a high point.
The tsunami warnings lifted a few hours after the quake.
Historically, this point just offshore of Northern California has had more magnitude 7s than anywhere else in the state because we have 3 different tectonic plates that come together there.